Om Namah Shivaya.
That's the backup. Keep it here.
Let's try this. Okay. Om Namah Shivaya. Yes, much better, I think. Yes. Let me open the text and then I'll be with you. I think just a little, this just a little bit, it's a little wobbly. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Okay. Now I'm opening the text and then yes, come forward, and if you get a neck ache, ask somebody to just rub it for you after the class. So nice to be here.
So nice to have you here.
In this case, we can say it's nice to be had.
Yes.
Little louder? Yeah. Mama will take care. Yeah, please, this is a good time to remind everybody to silence the phones. Nothing, you won't miss a thing.
Tell us what to do.
Shall we begin? Okay, Karda, you can hear? Yes. Okay. Om Bhadram Karnebhih Shriniyaama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhairyajtraah Sthirairangaiः Stushtvagum Sastanubhih Nishema Devahitam Yadayuh Swasti na Indro Vruddhashravah Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaah Swasti nastārkshyo arishtanemihi Swasti no brahaspatir Om Shanti 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We saw yesterday that the Upanishad called the Mandukya Upanishad, which is part of the Atharva Veda, sets up this wonderful connection, a connection that we long for, a connection for which there is a universal craving. And in fact, it would be a disservice to call it a connection. Connection we only call because we suffer from a sense of disconnection with everybody and everything. Connection is in fact replaceable by the word oneness. So it establishes this oneness between the jaded, faded crybaby called, complaining crybaby called what? Jiva. Everybody knows. Fantastic, yes. And the faraway, unassailable, unreachable, what? Ishvara. This is the distance. The distance is not between oneself and Brahman as Satchidananda or Satyam Jnanam Anantam, because ultimately what is this I? Satyam Jnanam Anantam. The distance is in the appearance, in the apparent reality of this Brahman, Satchidananda, wearing a wonderful costume, a great crown made of all kinds of, not jewels, galaxies. Yeah, a crown made of galaxies and a cape embroidered in all the mineral resources. And now the main thing is rare earth minerals, that also. And then, and then what else? And a cape which has as its border all the planets, the habitable planets, the uninhabitable planets, everything. This glorious cape the Satchidananda wears, and it gets a new name. What is that new name? Ishvara. That is the name. Same Satchidananda. And then the same Satchidananda says, what about me? Oh, Maya Devi. Maya Devi is the seamstress. Okay, yeah. Why is she called seamstress? Because she gives the jiva a lot of stress. You'll see, you'll soon hear why. So this one, the Satchidananda, so already differentiating and seeing this glory, which is you can't even see it with two eyes. That is what the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is all about. If you don't, if two eyes are not enough to see this wonderful cosmic form of all power, all might, all resources, all knowledge, omniscient. And who am I? Struggling to spell the word omniscient. Always I before E, except after C. But wait a minute, this is after C only. What is going on? This is who I am. This is my problem. And I say, I also want a cape like this. I also want a headdress like that. I also want that. So then the jiva orders for itself. I also want a custom gown. Okay, tell me a little bit about yourself. I'm sad, I'm complaining, I lack, I want, I don't have. What do you do most of the day? I complain and then I eat comfort food, and then after that I complain some more, and then I cry, and then I sleep, and then rinse repeat next day. Okay, so she takes down all that. These are the measurements. And then what? A patchwork, a quilt of a cloth. Again, what is wearing it? Is Satchidanandam Brahma. Patchwork quilt of a cloth. This quilt is not like the ones you buy in the shop. No, this quilt is made of rags, cut pieces of rags stitched together somehow, barely standing there. And then what does it have as the border? Tears and fears are the border. And then, so taking the gown to be oneself, taking the costume to be oneself, the jiva suffers, and the Ishvara is in one's own glory. We cannot say Ishvara taking the costume to be itself also suffers from pride and arrogance. No, it is not there, because part of that costume is samagram vairagyam. No attachment whatsoever to the costume or to anything else. No attachment to this whole quote unquote process of coming forth and multiplying itself into as though many, because that many is as though. Many is as though. Whatever we take to be real is as though. So this is the so-called difference. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, because the costumes are mithya. Mithya doesn't mean illusion. Mithya doesn't mean delusion. Mithya means a dependent reality. A reality that is dependent on what? What else? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. A reality that is dependent on Brahman. There is only one reality, and that is Brahman, which is myself. And then this Brahman, with all these costumes, is called Jagat. This Brahman, along with so many names and forms, Brahman is the filling, like our modak. Yes, even our sweet dishes are Vedantic in nature. Yes. So when we were children, mother used to make out of this rice, cooked rice powder, and then you roll it out, and then you put some ball of calories, coconut and jaggery, okay, and then you close it and steam it. And then this used to be given on Ganesha's birthday. Happy birthday, Ganesha. Why don't you have 6 of them a year? Because so tasty this modak is. And then when we were children, we would look to the left, look to the right, peel that outside covering off, swaha, to the ball of calories inside. Yes. Because that outside one, even though we didn't know V for Vedanta then, what did we know? We knew that the covering is not very tasty. It is bland. In association with the sweetness, it is sweet, but otherwise, what is there? Fika fika. Yes, it is bland. We knew that. Even though we didn't know Vedanta, we knew that. We would put away the covering when no one was looking and eat the sweet ball. Now, the sweet ball has a name. In the everyday parlance, it is called Purna. That is what is there. And what is Brahman's real name? Purna. Purnam Adaha, Purnam Idam. Others, that means which is beyond space, beyond time, beyond objectification. Adaha, the cause is Purna, and the effect is also what? Purna. Because the DNA of the cause inheres the effect, and both are one and the same. This is where we need to go. And this knowledge is there everywhere, in every nook and corner of the world. Wherever it exists, it is called Vedanta, this oneness. Then we are not anybody special. We also have this Vedanta. The only thing which I will point out about this tradition is that the teaching tradition has survived intact. In other cultures, unfortunately, due to colonization, proselytization, so many things, the teaching tradition has gone. Therefore, we can enjoy this wherever we are. Vedanta is not the property of India, and Vedanta is not for Indians only. It is for the entire world and even beyond. Even if there is another loka where somebody has the qualifications and the desire to see what all this is about, who am I, why am I crying, why am I complaining, then Vedanta is for them. And so we have seen that this difference between the all-powerful, almighty, glorious, beautiful Ishvara and the small power, small might and ugly Jiva. I'm not saying Jiva is ugly, okay? Yeah. Each one thinks I am ugly. I wish I were taller. I wish I were slimmer. I wish I were of a different color. Because we identify with that. Because this is how people talk about themselves. And this I came to learn only from after coming to this country. Somebody said, I'm blonde. Blonde means what? I'm a bunch of yellow colored hair. Yeah? You're defining yourself by the hair. And then what? It's actually better than saying I'm bald. That means what? I'm a bunch of non-existent hair. Yes. So this is our bread and butter. We take the apparent to be real, and then the suffering that ensues from taking the apparent to be real is also apparent suffering, but then I take the suffering to be real and then I want to really get rid of the suffering. If the suffering were real, my friends, we will not be able to get rid of it, because that which is real is abadhitam, which is non-negatable and cannot be changed. Unchangeable, non-negatable. So if suffering were real, we cannot get rid of it. Oh, it's unreal. If it's unreal, then there is nothing to get rid of. What are we doing here? Nothing to get rid of at all. So suffering is neither real nor unreal. It occupies an uneasy space in the middle. This is where the rub is. This is why we suffer. This is the journey of coming out of this delusion that everything that is felt is real, everything that is experienced is real, everything that is there is real, everything that is many things I see, duality is therefore real. And therefore, if duality and all this whole world of dependent reality becomes real, then what is Sat? What is this Satchidananda that we have been talking about? That becomes what? Non-existent. Therefore, this mistake has to be repaired, and the Mandukya Upanishad has a wonderful way to repair this mistake, because it is a mistake. Taking myself to be not what I am is a mistake. And the Mandukya Upanishad has a transcendental vision and a transcendental methodology to bring us out of this mistake. It avoids all the charged words from the beginning. Jiva, charged word. Because I already feel I'm a jiva, it does the word jiva come here? Not at all. Ishvara, it's not there in the beginning. Later he will say, the Upanishad, she will say, Sarveshvara. It's hidden in Sarva. So you don't immediately see it. Sarveshvara. It won't say that immediately. Even in the beginning, no Jiva, no Ishvara charged. Why is it charged? Because I feel alienated, I feel sad. I wish I was like Ishvara, I wish I was all powerful. And I wish I had a, Samrajya. I wish I had a kingdom like Ishvara has the kingdom. Here barely even the significant other doesn't listen to me in my personal kingdom. Yeah. Somebody said that. Somebody else said even the pet dog doesn't listen. I say sit and it looks at my hand. Do you have a treat? Then only I will sit. This is the problem. And therefore, we have to correct this mistake. And this Upanishad is very special because it doesn't use any of the charged words. No Jiva, no Ishvara. So that immediately the heart doesn't shut down. The heart is like a lotus that is a bud, and the Shastra is like the light that opens the lotus, that blossoms the lotus. Because the Shastra is like the sunshine, and the lotus is a flower that only opens in the sun. When the sun shines, the lotus opens. So what we need for this sad, tightly closed heart is exactly this transcendental vision, this vision which takes us away on a journey which is beyond space, beyond time, as we have been seeing, through looking at and through an ingenious methodology which uses the time-bound experiences. Like what? Hello? Waking? Yes. Waking is time-bound or not? Yes, because I have already fallen asleep, because this is what Vedanta class does to me. Waking is a time-bound experience. And sleep, time-bound or not? Yes, because everybody woke up today. And then, what about dream? Time-bound experience. Time-bound. So these time-bound experiences are used to extrapolate from them that which is the timeless presence in all of them, because of which they can afford to be time bound. So waking, time bound. Waker, time bound. Yeah, because waker now has become what? Sleeper. Time bound. Why? Because Sahana Vavatu mantra was enunciated. That's a lullaby. Yes. Purnamadaha Suprabhatam. Oh, okay. Lunchtime. So, waker, time bound. Sleeper, time bound. Dreamer, time bound. Yet, there must be, this is called the three-state pedagogy. The three states of experience pedagogy, avastha traya prakriya. This is something which is so simple and beautiful, but at the same time, it is essentially extremely profound. It is simple and beautiful because it is immediately understandable, because the waking experience, the person sitting next to me is not having. Okay? The person sitting next to me is not having the waking experience. Who is having the waking experience? I myself. Similarly, the person at home is not sleeping. I am the one sleeping. So similarly, the relatives in India are not dreaming. I am dreaming. So it is my own experience. And so these experiences, which are universal, and yes, they are eminently time bound, must have a timeless element. This is very easily palpable. Must absolutely have some shifting needs to happen. There is some chairs here where you can perch on. You want to go there? Yeah, you're okay there? All right. So the time-bound experiences must have something inherent in them that is not bound by time. Because why? I'm able to say, I was awake until you came, you put me to sleep. I can say that. And I can say, I just woke up. And I can say, I had the most fabulous dream. I can say that. And how can I all say that? Because the I is not inherently the waker. Waking is an incidental experience that is enjoyed, so to speak, by the I, without the I taking on that waker identity as itself. If that's clear. Similarly, I'll repeat it 2 more times so it's very clear. Similarly, the sleeping experience, the I, the Atman, does not take on as its identity. It is just an experience. An experience necessarily, Namaskar, please come. There's a place to sit over there if you can make it that way. If you can make it that far, there are some seats there. So the sleeper, the sleeping experience or the sleeper is not an inherent identity of the Atman. Sleep, there also behind there is some space, you can go this way. Sit over there or sit here, or some of you sit there, some of you perch up on that seat, no, some place will be made. Sit there. Some floor space is needed, so some of you sit up, 2 people at least sit up. Some nice things are coming. Yeah, and some little shift. Yeah. Shift to the left. Please shift to the left a little more. Nice and cozy on this wintry day. Good for paying attention, because if you sleep, somebody even inadvertently will nudge you. So the sleeper, the status of the sleeper is just an incidental identity of the I, the Atman. It is not inherent identity of itself, because otherwise what would happen? We would always be sleeping, like that story in the fairy tale. What is that fairy tale? Grimm's fairy tale. All these fairy tales are frightening. I can't believe they were telling this to children. Oh, yeah. Witches and cut fingers and sleeping forever. Horrible. Yes, very grim. So Sleeping Beauty, we would all be like, if the sleeper experience was inherent to the identity of the I, we would be sleeping well all the time. Similarly, if the dreamer experience was identical with the I, then we would be dreaming all the time. Yes, I am like that. I daydream, I night dream. I'll see you after class, okay? If there is such a person, you can advertise yourself later. So, so the sleeper, dreamer, waker are as though experiences of the I. An experience by definition is something that you get into and get out of. Now, the very big question is, who is the one that is having a sleeping experience? Who is the one that is having the dreaming experience? And who is the one that is having the waker experience? That one is the same one. Same I is having those three experiences. It's not three different beings having three different experiences. It's the same I having the three different experiences, and therefore, who is this I? We have to say neither the waker, nor the dreamer, nor the sleeper. Because it is possible to have many experiences without becoming any one of them. Like, if you are with your child, you are what? Father, mother, right? You are with your son or you are with your daughter, what are you? Mother, father. Then what happens? Your own mother comes, your own father comes, and then suddenly what do you become? Son, daughter, immediately. And then your child is still there, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, somebody's phone is ringing, please silence it. Yeah, some ding ding sound was there, so please make sure your phone is silenced. So in relation to your child, what are you? Parent. And then in relation to your parent, what are you? Child. Yeah. It's correct to say child because you may be 60 years old, your parent may be 85 years old, and still you are what? My child. Your child. And let's say all three generations are sitting in the same room and you don't get confused, do you? You don't get confused. The same I is able to be deferential to the parent, and the same I is able to be parental to the child simultaneously. Think about it. And effortlessly and simultaneously, one is able to be mother and father to the child, and then one is able to be the child to the parent. Why? Because these roles are apparent. Apparent roles, as that's why it's called parent, okay? Because you can't say, you should say parent. What is it? What are you? A parent. Yes, you are not a parent. This is an apparent role that is being taken on because it is needed. So the problems belong to what? You or the role? Role. Don't say it belongs to me. Belongs to the role. The problems, if they belong to you, then we can say Purnamadaha just now. Okay, nothing more to teach. Yeah. Problems belong to the role. Problems cannot belong to you because when the parent who was being very annoying, let's say, and telling you what to do is out of the room, out of sight, out of mind, what happens? The problems also go away until their next visit. The problems go away, right? So that means very clear. The problems don't belong to me, the person. The Satchidananda here is the person. The problem belongs to the role. Then why do I internalize the problems? Why do I say I'm grieving? I wish, I wish I had been exchanged in the hospital so that I would have had different parents. And then I'm wondering if my own child was exchanged at the hospital because she or he is nothing like us. This. And meanwhile, don't think the child is not wondering. The child is also wondering. Maybe I'm adopted. That's why they are like this. So the problems, it's very clear, belong to the role. But then why do I take it on? There is some gadbad. Gadbad means, how do you say it in English? Mischief. Yeah,
Mix up.
yeah, mix up. Some gadbad is there. Some mischief is there. And some mischief maker is also there, because if there is a mischief, what should be there? Mischief maker should be there. Huh? And what is this gadbad? What is this mischief? The mischief is that there is some person who is an intermediary person, who is also part of this apparent reality, an imposter, pretending to be I. Not the Satchidananda I, but pretending to be I, like our favorite example of what? The crow. Shift to the left if you can. Yeah, little bit. There we go. Yeah, there's one more seat there if you can make it that far. Yeah. So, and one more person from there can sit there, so that if somebody else comes, we don't have to do this all over again. Everybody shift a little bit. There's a space for you there. So then, who is this person? Thank you, girls. Wonderful. So, who is this person who is an imposter? Who is this person who takes on? Who is this intermediary who pretends to be Satchidananda without being Satchidananda, and then who takes on like a sponge all the problems belonging to all the roles, starting with sleeper, waker, dreamer, mother, father, hearer, thinker, seer, drinker, eater, everything. Who is this? It is called not the I notion, a pale shadow of the I, in Sanskritam called as what? Ahankara. I thought, I notion, and that which is of course upheld by the Satchidananda Atma, because the Satchidananda Atma is like the sun. It just reveals everything. It reveals the contented one who is sitting back, relaxing in Swarajya, in the kingdom of the self. It reveals the discontented impostor, like the two birds in the Mundaka Upanishad, one of them flying around trying to get berries, and the other one sitting back on itself. Sitting back on itself and just being. This is the Atma reveals everything. It reveals this imposter also. The imposter is like a cockroach. They have many things in common. What does it do? When the light is turned on, what does the cockroach do? Goes inside the cupboard, goes under the table, under the chair. The cockroach cannot stand light. And it's in one more way, the ego, the ahankara, is like the cockroach, because both of them take a long time to go away. After Nagasaki, Hiroshima bombing, people had died. What was there? Cockroaches. It has a kind of a staying power, stupid thing, and so that is another way it's a cockroach. Third way it's a cockroach, the ahankara. Don't know where I'm going with this, but let's see. Third way it's like a cockroach is that both of them are distasteful to the sadhaka, the seeker of the truth. Both of them we don't like to see. Some people I hear keep cockroaches as pets. We are exempting those people from this discussion. So, in this way, there is an imposter I that wants to be Satchidananda, but then is enveloped by everything that it sees, takes everything to be real, because to tell you the truth, it's not terribly bright. Yeah, because it is enveloped or embraced by avidya. It's in the embrace of the matriarch, Mataji. Who's this Mataji? Avidya. It feels safe there. What kind of avidya? Of course, of itself. Avidya of itself, it feels safe there. And then what does it do? It takes everything that it can get, because it suffers from a sense of lack. Even though it feels relatively safe, it still suffers from a sense of lack. And after all, its truth is Satchidananda, because everything is Satchidananda. Like the filling in the modak, every name and form is filled with Purnam Brahma. Purnam Brahma is the filling that is there, that is just blessing every name, blessing every form. You take out the Purna, it's just chaff. You have to be careful, because in Eugene we believe in saving the chaff, because it has rare vitamins and minerals. But anyhow, this is an old example. Separating the wheat from the grain from the chaff. So this imposter called the ahankara, which for us the first comparison to the cockroach is very, very poignant here. Both cannot stand the light. Cockroach cannot stand the lamp, and the ahankara cockroach cannot stand enquiry. Like a politician stands for election, just look a little closer. There will be some money scandal, sex scandal, something or the other will come out. So the ahankara is like that. Vicharam na sahate. It cannot stand enquiry. Therefore, we initiate this self-enquiry and we bypass the ahankara by seeing that the I is the one, that there is something behind, within, of course, heavy quotes, there's nothing behind, behind, front, what, everything is Brahman. But there is something as though that is even lighting up the ahankara, and I don't see the one that is lighting up the ahankara, because I am embraced by avidya, and then I am also have a premium in keeping the ahankara shrined in the shrine which is meant for Ishvara. Ishvara is there in the heart, but ahankara is sitting in front of Ishvara, blocking this darshan that I am Satchidanandam Brahma. It's blocking this vision, because its vision is one of division. It thrives in division. Divide, rule. Do this, do that, and get everything, because the sense of lack is so deep. It's like a hole which can never be filled. And the ahankara's journey, life after life after life, is what? Trying to fill this hole which it cannot fill. Life after life. All it needs to do is that when looking at this hole, it has to put a W in front of it. That's all it needs to do. The hole should become what? The hole. It doesn't know that. That is why this Upanishad is so special. By taking the everyday experiences, we see that the one that is undergoing the change is who? Ahankara. And the changeless one that is blessing the sleep state, the waking state, and the dream state, and also blessing the experiencer, the ahankara itself is blessed, is who? The one that is not sleeping at all, the one that is ever alive and simply the revealer, without even using it as a verb, because it doesn't act. The sun shines, we say the word shine is a verb, but it is upachara. It's not a verb, it's not an action. The sun doesn't say, okay, time to shine. No, it doesn't do that. It is its nature. Similarly, the Atma's nature is to reveal the sleeper. Who is that? Ahankara, that is finally not complaining.
Yeah.
That's why sleep is likened to moksha. It's the only time we don't complain, which is fantastic. But even if you want to differ with me and say, no, no, I have complaints in sleep, please continue to sleep, because it's, even if it's not moksha for you, it's moksha for others around you. Yeah, because they don't have to listen to you complain. For 8 hours they are free. Therefore, this Satchidananda, which is like the sun, shines and reveals the sleeper. Who is the sleeper now? Ahankara, cockroach, okay, yeah. Reveals the sleeper, reveals the sleep experience, reveals the waker experience, reveals the dreamer experience, without becoming any one of them, any one of them. How does it reveal? Its task is not easy. Like the sun is far away and it simply shines. Even though we compare the sun to Satchidanandam Brahma, we compare the sun to Atma, the two are very different. Why? Because the sun does not participate in the waking experience while revealing something. The sun, when let's say the sun shines on the tree, it does not become the tree and then reveal the tree also. But here, the unenviable task, so to speak, no task really, the unenviable situation that the Satchidanandam Brahma, Purnam Brahma, this thing, this entity, this thing, the only thing worth being called a thing, the Vastu, is the truth of I, the truth of this Jagat, the truth of Ishvara, is that it has to reveal all three. And how does it reveal all three? By blessing the presence. The very presence is blessed by that. So it's not, so there is no difference between revealer and revealed. Revealer is non-separate from that which is revealed. Revealed cannot exist that which is revealed. The objects of revelation, like the sleeper state, dream state, waker state, etc., the objects of revelation cannot be self-standing. They are dependent upon the Brahman to be revealed, upon Omkara to be revealed, and then, but at the same time, they are independent. They don't, they are, the Brahman does not become any one of them. It is both the revealer and then it's non-separate from the revealed. The revealed cannot exist without that. And the revealer is what? Brahman. Revealer, revealed, this duality is also a relational duality. Therefore, that which is itself cannot always be called the revealer. Just like the inner revealer called Sakshi, the witness, cannot always be witness. In sleeping time, what do you witness? Nothing. So it is not a witness. The witness also has to resolve. The whole idea of witness is only in relation to things. But here there is nothing except itself. So it is self-revealing, and then ultimately it does not become whatever else it reveals. And everything being non-separate from itself, there is really nothing to reveal. There is no revealer, revealed. Revealed is non-separate from the revealer. Revealer transcends the revealer, revealed divide. Is that clear? Say yes even if you don't want to. Because it will be repeated again, don't worry. Okay? Yeah. So, now, if this much is somewhat understood, we can dare to go further and look at what is this entity. Because it is an entity, it is conscious, it is self-conscious. But it is not an entity like how we think of entities. It is that which is revealing everything. It is non-separate from all the objects in this manifest universe. And yet it is beyond everything. What is its nature is the next part of the discussion. Let us repeat. Nantaf pragyam, na bahish pragyam, नो भयतः प्रज्ञम् न प्रज्ञानघनम् न प्रज्ञम् न अप्रज्ञम् First it is neti 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 neti. Okay? Neti neti is not that pot with which you do some water exercises. Okay? Yeah. Neti here means what? Na iti. Na iti. It is what for what it is not has to be pointed out first, because our mistake is taking what I am not to be myself. So this is how the teaching has to proceed. So first it points out what this Brahman is not. Oh, is Brahman inside, deep down inside somewhere? It will then come out. I have to go within. Go within by all means, I encourage that. But don't think that deep down is an entity that you can pull it out like pulling water from a well. No. Na antaf prajnam. We saw what is antaf prajna. We saw something. What is that? Dream experience. Antaf prajna, where the remembered objects are recalled, regurgitated in the dream state. Remembered objects, desired objects. So there is no real object. It is all an inner experience. So this Brahman, is it consciousness? Is it knowledge? Is it consciousness of what? Everything that is within. Of course, the word within is from the standpoint of this body. Okay. No, na antaf pragyam brahma. Oh, then how does the mind think? If it's not within, where should it be? Outside. Yeah. So quickly, na bahihi. It's not outside. Oh, I know. Yeah. Because the mind is very intelligent and clever, but unfortunately, it sabotages itself by putting everything into boxes. Sabotages itself by putting everything into boxes. If it's not outside, then where should it be? Inside. If it's not inside, it's outside. Okay, it's neither outside nor inside. I know it's both inside and outside. Na ubhayataf pragyam. It is not both. It is not aware of itself alone, and it's not aware of things other than itself alone, and it's not both inward facing antarmukha and bahirmukha at the same time. It is not, because that would be doing a disservice. That would be keeping on reproducing this duality if we think like this. And so na antaf pragyam, na bahish pragyam, and then na ubhayatav pragyam. Oh, okay. This Brahman is this prajnana ghanam, mass of consciousness, only consciousness. That is associated with what? Sleep state, where there is only consciousness in repose. So if it is only consciousness not doing anything, then there will not be any jagat. Then there will not be any vyavahara, no transaction will be there. Then there will be no teaching, there will be no Upanishad either. Correct? And so that is also dismissed. Na prajnana ghanam. All right. Na prajnana ghanam. Then what? Then it is okay. Only pragyam, meaning it knows only itself and nothing else. That also we cannot say. Na pragyam. Okay, it is stupid. I should have known that. It is ignorant of itself, because now I'm telling you it is knowledgeable. You are saying no. That means what? It is just plain stupid. Satchidananda, stupid. Na aprajnam. No, it is not ignorant. It is not at all ignorant. It cannot be ignorant. How can it be ignorant? Na aprajnam. And then what else is negated? Yeah, that much is negated. All right. Are we any better off? Say no, so we can go on. No, because just knowing what it is not enlightening me about what this I is. So then, positively also it is talked about. 9/10 is negation, and 1/10 is affirming something that is already known. When the eclipse of Atma Ajnanam goes away, the self shines as it is. So the neti neti is a major part of the teaching, but then there is also a reaffirmation of what already is there. And what is already there? It's beautiful. So, adrishtam, avyavaharam, agrahyam, alakshanam, अचिन्त्यम् अव्यपदेश्यम् एकात्मप्रत्ययसारम् प्रपञ्च उपशमम् शान्तम् शिवम् अद्वैतम् चतुर्थं मन्यन्ते स आत्मा स विज्ञेयः. So this is very beautiful. What does it say? Little more negation is there. So, and then positively it is talked about. Adrishtam, where can I see it? Where can I go for darshan? Neither inside nor outside, nor both inside, outside, nor anywhere else. Don't go for darshan like you go to temple. Because the Kena Upanishad says this very beautifully. Tad Brahma Tvameva Vidhi. Tadeva Brahma Tvam Vidhi Na idam Yadidam Upasate. Brahman is not that which you keep on the altar and pray. That is also Brahman, of course. But then if you just say that alone is Brahman and nothing else, then we are making this mistake here. Same mistake which this is trying to eliminate. So, where do you go to see God? Everywhere and nowhere. Because God is not an object of sight. That which we call God is not an object of sight. Ishvara, that Ishvara is the truth of you and the truth of that which is in the temples, in the puja rooms, in the altars. And so therefore, adrishtam, nobody has seen it. Why? Because it is not available for aksha pramana, for direct perception. It's not available for the aksha. Aksha means here eyes and senses, etc. Why? Because it is not an object. Simple. It is the truth of both subject and object. It is the truth of the seer and seen. That's why we need Shastra Pramana. Those are the eyes which will help us, quote unquote, see that which is not an object as the truth of oneself. And then, okay, it's not available for sight. What does it do all day? What does this Brahman do? Does it get bored? Does it watch Netflix? Yeah. Does it go someplace? Does it go to a cafe? Avyavaharyam. Vyavahara ayogyam. Ayogya means useless. Yeah. Sometimes, in India, the parents will call their teenage children. Hey, Ayogya, come here. Meaning, make yourself useful. You're treating this house like a hotel and you come and go as you like. And so, make yourself useful. Come on, do something. And if that teenager attended this session, they will say, yes, I am Brahman, Avyavaharya. Don't ask me to do anything. I am in my own glory. Sve mahimni tisthami. Yes. So, Vyavahara ayogya. Ayogya means totally unworthy. Yogya means useful. Ayogya, unworthy. Unworthy for any transactions. Does it give anything? No. Does it receive anything? No. Does it do anything? No. Okay, does it comment? No. Does it gossip? No. Okay, does it teach? No. What does it do all day? Nothing. Why can't it do anything? Because it doesn't have the karana. It doesn't have the sense organs which are used to do things. It doesn't have hands and legs. So how will it do anything? Poor thing. Okay. So then avyavaharyam. Okay, fine. It doesn't do anything. Can I go and catch a hold of it? No. Agrahyam. Same verse, similar verse is there, similar mantra in the Mundakopishan. Yattadadreksham avarnam agotram apanipadam. And then, so agrahyam, don't go to catch it. Why? Because the catcher is it. Yes. The truth of the catcher and the truth of the caught is this Brahman. Don't go to catch it. Okay, and then what does it do? Okay, all right, I won't catch it, promise. But can you tell me what it looks like? Our orientation is so much object wise. We want to know what it looks like. Some sign. See, in India, when you give somebody the address, it's not enough, because you see, even though the addresses have modernized, especially in rural and small towns, they will say something, behind behind the yellow house, pili kothi ke piche, this is how they write the address. Yeah, behind the yellow house. And the yellow house had so many owners, and now it is actually green, but then doesn't matter, it will still be yellow house. Even the post mail carrier has changed. His grandson is now delivering the mail, but still it is what? Yellow house. And so there is some kind of a landmark. Lakshana should be there. Landmark should be there to find the place. Like we saw one Lakshana yesterday. What was that? Tatastha Lakshana, we seriously said Tatastha Lakshana. And what is the other one? Swarupa Lakshana, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Now we are having Vedanta quiz. Okay, we better rock back and forth and then memorize this. Yeah, what do we say? Tatastha Lakshana is what? Jagat Karanam. Tatastha Lakshana. What is Swarupa Lakshana? Satchidananda, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Ooh, I think I'm on top of it. No, Alakshanam. What? No quiz? Quiz, yes, quiz, but wrong answer. Alakshanam. How can it be Alakshanam? Yesterday itself you said all these Lakshana means this, the definition. And here you say it is without definition. Yes, it is without definition. Then why did you tell me a definition? Because you are wanting one. That's why. You were wanting one, I gave it to you. That's what Upanishad will say. No. But inherently it is without definition. Then what about the word Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam? This Taittiriya Upanishad Vakya, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam has 6, 7, maybe 10 pages of Adi Shankara commentary. Why did he write this voluminous commentary on these 3 words, 3 small words? He has written so much commentary. If they are not important, now you are telling me to discard them completely. You are telling me to go away from them, because those words are called Lakshana for the time being. Why? Because we want you to start somewhere. For the time being, they are Lakshana. They are like a point. You go to a strange place, you don't know, you are hungry, and there is a sign that says restaurant with an arrow pointing that way. What is it telling you to do? Follow that. Go there. If it says restaurant there, what do? You go there, correct? You don't sit under the board and pray for food to come. Yeah. Nor you eat the board because you're so hungry. Yeah. You have to go there. You have to go there. Here also, Satchit Ananda is like a signpost. It is not a definition of Brahman. It is a indicatory definition. A definition that helps us to indicate, and that which is the object, I have to use that word even though it's not an object, that which is to which it is pointing, that which is the object of this indication is what? Self-shining. Yeah. Therefore, it doesn't need to be pointed out. Not only it is not pointed out, it is not only is it agrahyam, not only can it not be pointed out, it need not be pointed out. Why? Because it is you. Me, small old me. Yes. Take away the word small and old. Me. Yes. This is all about Vedanta is all about me, 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 me. So therefore Vedanta analysis is called me mamsa, all about me. Sanskrit word. And so therefore it is alakshanam. What tatastha lakshana? No, what about the Jagat? Now I'll also ask you the same thing. What about the Jagat? Where is the Jagat? Tell me that. Oh, here I'm sitting on it. I'm sitting on Bhudevi. I'm sitting on Mother Earth. That is the Jagat. I am noticing something. That is the Jagat. The Jagat is in between these two temples. The Jagat is as good as is cognized. So the Jagat that we see is the Jagat that we sense, the Jagat that we write volumes and volumes of PhD theses over. That Jagat, what is that Jagat? It is just right here. Therefore, some people, some Vedanta philosophers, starting with Swami Prakashatman, what did they say? They said that they posited one drishti srishti vada. What is the srishti? That which is in your drishti. that which you see is the srishti. It is in your drishti alone. Really speaking, there is no objective jagat separate from your impressions of it. The objective jagat by itself does not exist. Why? Because everything is mediated through the sense organs, through your mind, through your buddhi, through your impressions, through your conclusions. So that is only taking two orders of reality. One is the subjective reality, how I feel about everything that I see, and then the other one is the objective and the ultimate reality, which is the absolute reality, which is Brahman. But we need not go so far. If we are not ready yet, we can say three orders of reality. There is the Jagat, Vyavaharikam Sat, which is the place where I can firmly be after getting out of my own subjective reality of wrong notions. There is a interim safety ground from where I can soar to what? Paravarthika, where I can understand myself as alakshanam. So this is not just Brahman definition, Brahman being the self, this is a definition of the self. It doesn't need lakshana, all definitions fall short because it cannot be defined. Why? Because it is full, limitless, whole, and it's not an object, and besides it need not be defined because it is self-evident. Let me ask my famous question. Are you here? Yes. Fantastic. Tathastu. Okay. Then alakshanam. All right. I will compose poems on it. Achintyam. But there are so many Vedanta poems. Why can't I also compose one? You can compose. No problem. But even the composer of Vedanta poems will say, this is not really that. This is just a pale little composition. That's how, like that Shakespeare sonnet. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? No, you are far better than a summer's day. Like this. No matter what you can compare to Brahman is one of itself. Nothing else is like it. It will always be incomparable. You cannot come to any conclusions about it. Achintyam. All right. Now the next one is little, hard to take, but we have to face the reality. And what is that? It says that it is avyapadeshyam, cannot be taught to anyone. Ayyayo. If I had known 3 days ago when you came, I would have not bothered. I would have skipped this series. Yeah. Avyapadeshyam. Upadesha ayogyam. Upadesha cannot be given. Upadesha means teaching. And here we take seriously, this is Gurukula, this is Guru, this is Shastra. I need the grace, I need to learn, I need to study. Who am I? Shishya, Shikshana Yogya, ready to study. I am. And then, oh, this samsara has to go and I have to study. These are all formulas. And these formulas are just there. That's why what the baby drinks is also called formula. You see? Yeah. Baby formula. Vedanta, baby, goo goo, gaga, baby formula. Yeah. This is good for that stage. Somewhere. After the baby grows up, does it drink formula? No, it's beyond formula. Similarly for us, as we grow in this knowledge, all that is on the side. What is the truth? Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Deshaya Dakshina Murtage Namaha. That is the truth. That these compartments and these hierarchies that I have created, that I have made for myself between Ishvara, no, this one, this way. And then Ishvara, Jiva. And then what else? And then this Guru. Okay. And then Shishya. All these are essential. In the beginning, without that, we cannot do this without that. This is part of the empirical reality called Vyavahara. This has to be there. And we can't do without that. Why can't we do without that? Because that is the last frontier of duality. The Guru is the last frontier of duality. That is the ultimate duality which does not reproduce it any further. That is what is called Guru. The one who does not reproduce the duality is called Guru. And so that's why in the beginning there is the difference is there in the heart, and then respect is there always. Why? Because even after the knowledge, I still have the same body, mind, sense complex. So then you don't, slap the teacher on the back and say, I am a jnani, you're a jnani, let's hug. Or yo bro. No. You still do namaskara, it is vyavahara. Why? Because one is in vyavahara. One respects vyavahara because everything is Brahman. We understand that. When we understand that, we can afford to follow that, because we are not really following that, because in the heart we know Ishvara is one, Jiva is one, Guru is one, Grantha, the Upanishad is one. And in this oneness, the duality is just simply fascinating and beautiful, and it is something to enjoy. We can enjoy the separateness rather. When we know the oneness, we can enjoy the separateness. If we don't know the oneness, the separation turns into anxiety. That's why it is called what? Separation anxiety. That's why this Upanishad is wonderful, because everything becomes goo goo gaga, baby talk. All the things we have studied, it shatters, because the study has to be on some kind of a foundation. And here the foundation itself is completely demolished, because what is there is just you. That is all is there. And so avyapadeshyam, same thing in the Kenopanishad, the teacher tells the student, na vidmo na vijanimaha yatha etat anushishyat anyadeva tadviditat atho aviditat adhi. We don't know how to teach this. So he says that. The teacher in the Kenopanishad says, I don't know how to teach it to you. The student says, how do I get thoughts in the mind? What do I do? I don't know how to teach this to you. We don't know how to. Navidmaha. We means all the gurus. We don't know. He includes himself. She includes himself with all the other gurus in the lineage. We do not know how to teach this. Na vidmaha. And then what? Na vijanimah. We still don't know. We didn't know. We don't know. Yatha etad anushishyat. How can we teach this? Because why? Any object of teaching should be what? Vyapadeshya. It should have lakshana. It should be grahya. All the things here that it is denying. It should have form. It should have name. It should have color. It should have something to hold on to. With nothing to hold on to, how am I going to teach? Why? Because anyadeva tad viditat. That which is known, it is other than that which is known. Immediately, where does the mind go? Ooh, it is unknown. Anyadeva atha u aviditat adhi. It is beyond the unknown. It is beyond the known. And how did you know? That then we have to ask the teacher that. You say you don't know how to teach, but how come you knew? And the teacher says, we are all copycats. We are shameless plagiarizers of our guru. Every guru is copycat Ananda. Yes. That is the common name. Copycat Ananda. And how does it say that? It says, iti shushruma. We have heard this. This is the way to teach. This is the only way to teach this. We have heard from who? Purvesham, Gurunam. From the previous gurus, this is how we have learned to teach it. This is how it is. Yenastat vyachachakshire. This is how they taught us, and this is how I am going to teach you. This is the miracle of Vedanta, that which has no name, no form, cannot be handled, cannot be held, and cannot be cognized with the senses, cannot be inferred, cannot be understood in any manner of any which way we understand things, doesn't have any characteristics, doesn't have landmarks, is taught. Not only is taught now, was taught before, will continue to be taught. Why? Because it is you, and you don't need to be taught, because you are self-evident. Everything rests on the self-evident self, and when all the notions that do not belong are gone, and when the baby talk, the formulaic baby talk, we are able to set aside a little bit and think beyond that, then we are able to see this for ourselves. This is very, very beautiful. And then achintyam avyapadeshyam. I'm glad we got over that. Okay. Then this much is the negation. Now what is it? Ekatma pratyaya saram. Pratyaya. Ekatma pratyaya saram. Ekatma pratyaya saram means we'll have to take this one by one. Saram, essence. Essence. Essence of what? Pratyaya, cognition. It is not the cognition. Understand this. It's not the cognizer. It is the sara, the truth of both the cognizer and the cognized, the object of cognition, the means of cognition, and it is not any one of them, yet it is the essence because of which the cognizer is, because of which the cognized is, because of which the subject is, because of which the object is, because of which that which connects the subject to the object is, which is the means of knowing. Seer, sight, seen. Knower, known, knowledge. It is all of that, but it is freely transcends all of them. Without it, there is no knower, no hearer, no thinker. Without it, there is no object of thought, object of sight, object of hearing. Oh, then it is this? No, it is not this. Then it is that? No. Then it is both? No. It is none of them. Yet without it, nothing can exist. No divisions can exist without the indivisible, non-dual Brahman. Ekatma. It's only one, non-dual, and it is myself alone. The Atma has come again here. Mahavakya. Ekatma pratyaya saram. Sara means rasa, the essence. Raso vaisaha. Rasagrihyevayam labdhva nandi bhavati. Again, Taittiriya Upanishad. Rasa and Sara are same. You just, transpose the words. That's why. Rasa, Sara, essence. Rasa means the juice of everything. The juice of the Atma is what? The juice. Where do we look for the juice? We look for the juice in the Jagat. That's why Both start with J. Juice, Jagat. We think the Jagat is juicy. We want to extract the juice. Yes, I go for this, I go for that. The juicy Jagat everywhere. Ooh, this is what I want. But alas, who has the juice? You got the juice. Yeah. Jagat doesn't have the juice. You got the juice. But you don't know you got the juice. That's why you're in search of the juice all the time. And there is a little transference. What is the transference? The juice belongs to Jagat. Mistake. I'm looking for Jagat juice because I don't know I am the juice. This is the problem. And like our old example, dog and the bone. Dog is sucking on a dry bone, chewing on the dry bone, and then the gums, the sharp bone scratches the gums of the dog, it causes it to bleed. Dog also makes the same mistake as us. What does it think? What a juicy bone. Juice is coming from dog, okay, not the bone. Similarly, it's not Jagat juice, it is Jagat bone. Atma juice, Jagat bone. Dry bone, Jagat. Yes. No, but it's so attractive. This person is so attractive. Just look at them, imagine them without the skin, okay? All the attraction will go away instantly. Imagine them with the skin is what makes something, considered beautiful. Yeah, imagine them without the skin. There was one, this is Satyam, there was one exhibition. It came to Atlanta also.
Yes.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So where all the skin was taken off from these cadavers, and then there was just all muscles and bones and everything, and like this, yeah. Permanent, what is that? No, I can't call it a smile. Smile is attractive. Nothing. You didn't want to go too close to that exhibit. Yeah. Yes, from a distance. Everything is fine. Okay. I got the idea. Let's get out. So even if you don't remember anything about the Mandukya Upanishad, the Mahavakya is what? Atma juice, Jagat bone. Alright? Think that. Yeah. Remember that. Alright. So then what is that? So Ekatma Pratyaya Saram. And then if the Jagat is bone, then what? What do we do with bones? Bury them. Prapancha Upashamam. Upashama means bye-bye. Prapancha means everything that has started with these 5 elements. Where is the Jagat? Gone. Gone as a separate entity. Then it doesn't matter whether it goes or not. It has gone from my awareness as an entity separate from myself that I have to catch, kill, eat, conquer, enjoy, etc. Because the source of enjoyment is me. Ekatma pratyaya saram. Pratyaya means the Jagat is known through cognitions. Every cognition, what is there? That there is a variable and the invariable. The variable is the juice and the invariable is the bone. The bone is buried. The Jagat is gone from my understanding as a separate entity which has to be milked for some happiness. Prapancha Upashamam, that which has the ability to put the end to the Jagat as a separate entity in my awareness is this knowledge. Is this Brahman knowledge alone? Prapancha Upashamam by itself, there is no Prapancha. Prapancha comes, Prapancha goes. There is no inherent Prapancha. The Prapancha, the Jagat is not inherent to the existence of Brahman. In fact, the Jagat, from the standpoint of Brahman, the Jagat is an incidental expression. Shantam. This is what one wants. What do you say? I want Shanti. Do you get Shanti? No. Unless you're married to somebody called Shanti, you don't get Shanti. You don't get Shanti. I used to always make the joke when Ramakrishnan ji was here. I remember that? Yeah. I used to say. Only he can perhaps say he has Shanti because he happens to be married to her. Nobody else has Shanti. Yeah, but here, Shantam. Two kinds of Shanti are talked about in the Shastra. And what is the first Shanti? The first Shanti is relative Shanti. What is this relative peace? You are not there. That's why I'm happy. I'm peaceful. Thank God you are not there. Each one can say the you could be any annoying presence in the life is not there. Abba Shanti. That is relative Shanti. All you need is for that person to even just phone and say, I'm on my way back. Enough. Shanti goes. You're not even here. Shanti gone. Correct? Yeah. What kind of a Shanti is it? Useless Shanti. Who wants this kind of a Shanti? No one. In between two desires, there is a little bit of Shanti. Who cares for that? Nobody wants this. And then, so therefore, what do we want? We want permanent Shanti. And then permanent Shanti is used only to describe the dead. Okay, yeah. They have achieved permanent Shanti. We say that in the obituary. No, it is possible to be alive and have this Shanti thanks to this knowledge. Because this knowledge is not separate from Brahman, and that Brahman being myself, if Brahman is being described as Shantam, what am I? Shanti. I am the epitome, the embodiment, the Purnavatara of Shanti. I am the complete embodiment and avatara of Shanti. I am all but Shanti. Why? Even in the war zone, if I am standing, I am Shanti. Let empires rise and fall all around me, I am Shanti. Let the arrows fly, let the guns fly, I am still Shanti. Why? Because I am free of the Jagat. The Jagat includes my own body, my own complaining mind, my own senseless senses, my own karmendriya, jnanendriya, everything. I am free of all of them. I am that truth which is ekatma pratyaya saram, that which is the cognition of subject and object, but without becoming any one of them. I bless everything without being any one thing. And finally, I am Shanti. Why? Because there is nothing other than me. Because in order to cause Ashanti, there should be something else, correct? Oh, but there are so many things. All that is mithya, dependent on me, dependent reality, dependent on me. I have to learn to see this, and that Shanti is available where? Right here, right now. That is the Shantam. And then it is not just Shantam, it is Shivam. Oh yeah, I knew that. That's why Shiva is my Ishta Devata. I go to Shiva. Shiva temples I go to. Hello, this Shivam means what? You are it. The word Shiva means auspicious. Something can be Shantam, it can be quiet like a apparition. Apparition means what? Bhuta. It could be like a disembodied entity. Right now it is sleeping, or right now it is not troubling me because it must be troubling somebody else and it must be possessing somebody else. Right now I have Shanti. No, it is not that kind of a Shanti. What kind of a Shanti it is? It's a Shanti where I am not troubled at all because there is nothing other than me. There is nothing that can possess me. No object of like and dislike can be like a ghost that hijacks me, possesses me, because all those objects of love, objects of desire are what? Myself alone. They are non-separate from me and they are an apparent reality, and so I am the truth of all those objects, and those is so like being possessed by some unsavory entity. It is not. Being, understanding myself as Brahman is an auspicious fact. Mangalam, Shivam, Advaitam, next one. Advaitam means non-dual. Totally not. There is no second thing. That's why it is Shivam. That's why it is happy. One is happy. Because I don't have to deal with you. That's why I'm very happy. So here, when you know, there is nothing, everybody can be there around you, but you know you are in your own glory. You don't have to deal with anybody or anything. Advaitam. What is the next one? Abba, finished, yeah. Advaitam. And then the Upanishad says, that it is neither the dreamer, nor the sleeper, nor the, what else is left? Waker. That shows you are awake. Good. Nor the waker, and yet without which the waker, dreamer, sleeper cannot exist. It is that. And so, waker, dreamer, sleeper as what? 1, 2, 3. This is neither 1, nor 2, nor 3. Where does the mind go? 4. Here the Upanishad is so kind to us, it goes along with our avidya. We count 4, it says, I also know how to count to 4. Chaturtham, 4th one. Manyante, you people think, from my standpoint, there is no 1, 2, 3. What to talk of 4? 4 will come when? Only when there is 1, 2, 3. Ek, do, teen is not there. Where is number 4? Yeah, there is no 4. There is no 1, 2, 3. Then how to count 4? You are the one that's counting 1, 2, 3 because you are where? Goo, goo, gaga. You are on a formula. Okay? That's why you are counting 1, 2, 3. And I know that if I say there is nothing, even though Advaitam was just said, it has gone over the head like a plane. Lot of noise it made, but I don't know what it was. It has gone over the head. So therefore, since you are saying 1, 2, 3, let me come down to your level and say 4. I'm going to introduce you the 4th, and that 4th is what? According to you, not according to me. The Upanishad says, Chaturtham manyante. Who thinks? The Ajnaninaha. So these Ajnaninaha, not Jnanis, Ajnaninaha manyante. The people who don't know, who are still counting, each one. This one is there separate from me, that one is separate from me, this object is separate from me, that object is separate from me. I am going to enjoy this, I am going to beat up that one, I am going to meet up with the 3rd one. And now, oh, you're going to introduce me the 4th? Oh, let me listen. I'm neither the waker, nor the dreamer, nor the sleeper. Okay, now the 4th one. You are thinking that. Upanishad makes it very clear. Upanishad doesn't stop at Chaturtham. Chaturtham means the 4th one. Manyante, they think. And it doesn't want to say we are Ajnanis, so it keeps quiet. But we have to understand it as Ajnanis think. Manyante, Chaturtham, Manyante. And what is that? That which is seen as the 4th, Saha Atma, that is the I. It is not the I notion, it's not the I thought, it's not the ahankara, it's not what is called the ego, it's none of those things. What is it? It is that because of which the ahankara is definitely Atma, and then waker is Atma, sleeper is Atma, dreamer is Atma, the imposter ahankara, cockroach also is what? Atma, but Atma upholds all of them without being any one of them, like even the crystal. So the crystal is what color? No color. So behind the crystal you put white cloth. What does it look like? Brahmachari. Alright. And then behind the crystal you put orange cloth. What? Yes, you have to greet Swami Kristalananda. Alright? And so this is how it is. And then you remove the cloths, what is there? Crystal. No color, no shape, no size, no form. Yet it takes on all the shapes, it brings to light all the shapes, all the colors, all the names, all the forms without becoming any one of them. Chaturtham manyante saha atma, that is the Atma. Saha vigneyaha, that is the one to be known. It cannot not be known. We cannot afford to not know it. This Atma alone has to be known. So we see how far back we have come, starting with the sleeper, dreamer, sleeping world, dreaming world. So if the sleeper has been negated as the Atma, what about the sleeping world? Ishvaratvam, that is also negated. If the waking world has been negated, waker has been negated as the Atma, the waking world to which the waker is connected is also gone. All that is there is this Shantam, Shivam, Prapancha, Upashamam, Advaitam, Chaturtham. You think. I don't think, Upanishad says. Manyante, all of them think. Saha Atma Saha Vigneya. That is what has to be understood, has to be inquired into, has to be pursued until until the understanding is assimilated. And then from mantra 7 to 11, 7, 11, okay? Yeah. From mantra 7 to 11, the Upanishad takes a small turn to help us to explain. It goes back to Omkara. Remember, we started with what? Om. So then we have to end with what? Om only. Because otherwise it would be bad essay writing. You can't introduce a concept and not come back to it and talk about it. You have to bring it all along. So it goes back to Om and gives us some very good reasons why this Om is there. And here, since we are running out of time, I'll just very short I'll explain. So then it says, it separates the Om into its components. What are the components? A, U, Don't say Ma. Yes. A, U, Yes. It separates them just for our understanding. And so it says, let the A stand for the waker. Because it's a primal sound, it's the first sound, and then it is active sound. So, Adatte Atti iti A, the one who is the Bhokta, the waker is the Bhokta, the waker is the Karta. And then that is why it is called A. A for waker, A for Atti, eater. Of what? Karma phala. What else? A for eater, but E, it starts with E, not in A. In Sanskrit, it starts with A. Atti iti atma, temporary definition. Atti, it eats. What does it eat? It eats karma phala. It eats its own results of action. So then let the A stand for the waker. Why? Because there are many things with A and waker. The A is seen to be, it's the first sound that is made, and the waker is the first cognition. Oh, I am awake. That is the cognition. And then the second similarity between the sound A is called Akshara, means it never comes to an end, and the waker also keeps on waking up, waking up, waking up. The waking experience is also there all the time. And so let the A stand for the waker, it says. And then what else? Then there is the Prathama Matra. Prathama Matra means the waking state, the first sound. Why? Because the A is the beginning of all sounds, and from the standpoint of the waking experience, the sleep and the dream is evaluated and cognized. And so therefore it is called because it is the first in form of awareness. And then Swapnasthana. Next one will take what? Dreamer. Ooh. What has to do with dreamer? Ooh is Utkarsha, means the exalted state. Dream is called exalted. Why is it Utkarsha? So it is Utkarsha because it is an excellent place. Why? Because it contains certain components of the waker and it contains certain components of the sleeper. That's why it's exalted, because the waker is just waker, sleeper useless, just sleeper. And then the dreamer in the middle contains a little bit of that and a little bit of this. Very exalted state, Utkarshasthana, U for dreamer, U for Utkarsha. Okay, and so Utkarsha, and then it is the what is that? It is the Utkarsha, because what does it do? It understands the knowledge from the waking state in a subtle, different way. In a different way. And then it blesses you with the knowledge that this whole Jagat is like a dream-like experience. takes you close to moksha, because the dream experience is like the Jagat experience. Because the waking things only, the things you experience in the waking alone, you are experiencing in the dream. It's not some other experience. So if the dream experience can be falsified, you come to learn what? The waking experience is also like another dream from the standpoint of the final reality and the ultimate reality. And so therefore, natasya, and then the sleep, the dream state here, equated to the utkarsha, ends with the blessing. Natasya kule abrahmavit bhavati. May there be no one who does not know Brahman in the family of the one studying this Upanishad. Not only will you know, but all the people connected to you will know. Why? Because you will be talking only Brahman. Because this Upanishad will make you stop all other talk completely. You will be eating Brahman, sleeping Brahman, waking Brahman, drinking Brahman, talking Brahman. Here a Brahman, there a Brahman, everywhere Brahman, Brahman. No longer you are old Mac Jiva, okay? You are Brahman. And so, therefore, it ends with the blessing. And now the third state. What is that third state? Yeah, sleep state. Sushupta sthana. And then what is that? Makar. The third syllable. And then what is that? Mitehe. Mitehe means measurement. M for measurement, for a change, both in English and in Sanskritam. Miti, a measurement. Yeah. Minoti hava, havai, idam, sarvam, apitishcha bhavati. Apitishcha bhavati means the one who is sleep, the sleep sound is because it is what? It's the last sound. The final sound, as we saw, we demonstrated this by making the sounds on the first day. The final sound is what? After that, there is no more sound. All right? You have to keep silent. And in sleep, sometimes people keep going, elderly people. Yeah. Yes. You see, in senior centers and all that, where they are sleeping, they will be making this halka, small sounds. And so, they, as you grow older, somehow, maybe when the air escapes the nostrils, that nasal sound comes. So, this demonstrates this, very interesting. Maybe that's what they saw the similarity, and they said ma is for sleep and it's a measure. What is it a measure of? It's the measure of that where you know it's like the waking state is like supposing we take a bushel of rice. Let's say you have a full bag of rice and you have a container here. You take a bushel of rice, a bushel is that measure, and then you put it here. There is the filling of this measure, and then there is the emptying of this measure. The filling is the waking state where I am filled with all kinds of impressions, and then I empty it. What is that? Sleep. Emptied of all the impressions, emptied of all the perceptions, emptied of everything. I am. This is what is the sleep state. Is the Om complete?
Yes.
No. Because Chaturtham Manyante, where are you going to put the fourth, the so-called fourth one? Don't say yes. It is incomplete. Now, between one Om and the second Om, what is there? Silence? Are you sure? Are you sure it's not the thought? Should I be saying this again? Is anything happening? Silence. It is called amatra. All this is matra, and then this is amatra, the unenunciated silence. It's not a silence that is opposed to thoughts. That's like a superficial, shallow silence. It is that silence from which the thought and the silence, that relational silence and the thought and the no silence ensue. It is the mother of both silence and non-silence, that which is beyond even to, it doesn't have a name. We can't call it silence, but we are, our hands are tied, we have to call it something, so we are calling it silence. It's better to be silent, but that's what it is. Okay, so this is what is called amatra. We are calling it silence. Upanishad says the unenunciable. The unenunciated, meaning no name, no form, alakshanam, no definition, nothing to catch hold of, nowhere to go, nothing to do, avyavaharam, nothing to teach, nothing that can be taught as an object, nothing that can be studied as an object, alakshanam, everything that is by the fourth one. Amatraha, chaturthaha, avyavahara, prapancha upashamaha, shivaha, advaitaha, omkarah, om iti samvishayatva atmana atmanam. That which, then that which it is non-separate from everything. The seer is non-separate from the seen. The seen cannot be without that which is the essence of the seer and the seen. And that is what is Atma. And the ma is measurements. The ma is also one more thing. Mitehe apiti means that in which everything merges. The waking experience merges, the dream experience merges, and that is what is called sleep. I forgot that one. And then the fourth, the so-called fourth, it's unutterable. It's the same thing that what we call Brahman, and the one who is there, who understands this, is non-separate from the whole, non-separate from the self. That concludes the Mula. Mula means the Upanishad, all the 12 mantras. We just have the last 5 we just covered very quickly, because the first 7 we covered in little bit more detail. But this is nothing. The Karika of Gaudapadacharya will explain each word till all the duality is flogged out of us totally. All right. So I pray for everybody to always be with this knowledge, to be blessed by this holy, most sacred teaching in their lives, and to gain the derived benefit of this knowledge, which is in the form of happiness, unbridled joy, and Shanti. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Satgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. 10 minutes we have for any questions that might have arisen. Everybody is assimilating the knowledge. Yes. Formulate, no problem.
There is something called I notion,
I notion, ahankara, yes,
and there is someone called Jivanmukta.
yes,
He has somehow got over the I notion.
yes. Jivan Mukta also will have I notion, but the I notion has been understood as mithya, as a dependent reality. Yes.
And that he has achieved through constant.
He or she, we should say. Okay? Yeah. He or she has achieved?
Through constant inquiry.
No, through fulfilling that inquiry, through study of the Shastra and assimilating this knowledge, living as the Shastra. Because if there is just constant enquiry but there is no answers, what is the use? Through finding the answers, through the exposure to this knowledge, the one who has understood this is called Jivan Mukta. The Jivan Mukta, in relation to this Upanishad, we can say, knows I am a visitor. I visit the waking state. You see, very hard to falsify the waking state like we falsify the dream and the sleep. The Jivan Mukta knows, she or he knows, I visit the waking state, but then I come back at home with Om. That is what it is. And then I visit the sleep state. I had a wonderful time, I had a fantastic time. Now I am back with Om, which is myself. I visit the dream state, and then now I am back with Om. Om is not the fourth, that Atma is not the fourth. There is only one actually, and as though three are visited by that one, which is non-separate from everything in the universe and yet transcends everything also.
Just as a animal is programmed, isn't I notion also programmed in us?
I notion is not programmed, because it is programmed in a sense that it is there. You know, sarvesham buddhau ragadvesham vyavasthitau. It is programmed because everybody has it, you have it, everybody has it. In that sense it is there. But then we have the wherewithal to lighten the I notion of the burden of identifying with everything that is small. The dog doesn't have that privilege. The dog will identify, it's my territory. If you come closer to me, I will growl. That is what the dog will do.
Can you say that again?
See, you have the privilege of overriding and seeing the truth of the I notion. So, and the teaching is for whom? The teaching is for the ahankara, because that's where the ajnanam sits. Ajnanam does not sit in the Atma. Atma is not ajnana, ajnani. Body is not sentient. You have to be sentient to be ignorant.
And it is experiential.
It's not experiential. It is knowing. It is a knowledge without an author. It is a knowledge where the knower is knocked off in the process of knowing. Every other thing you know while retaining the knower, so that at the end, janamiti, I know that, I know, I am the knower. You are stuck with that. That is the I notion. In this knowledge, the I notion itself is knocked off, so there is no knower separate from the one who knows. There is no knower, and so this knowledge, nobody who has this knowledge will say, I have self-knowledge. If somebody says, I have self-knowledge, back off slowly. Yeah. Nobody can say, because there is no knower. The knower, the karta, bhokta, pramata is knocked off. Because who is pramata? Atma. Who is the prameya, that which is to be known? That is also Atma. And who is the means of pramana, means of knowing? That is also Atma. So Atma is not any one of them. It is the truth of the Sara, Ekatma Pratyaya Sara, the truth of all of them without becoming any one thing. So the Jivan Mukta will never say, I have self-knowledge. And it's not something you can write on your CV also. In your resume, if you say, I have self-knowledge, nobody will hire you. Because why? You are avyavahara, not fit for transaction. They'll say, please go enjoy your Atma. Don't come to work for this company.
So why is it so difficult to do?
It is not difficult. Who said it's difficult? No, it's not difficult. You have to study. That's what. Jivan Mukta studied. You also have to study. That's all it is. Anybody who studies understands this. It's not difficult at all. It's as easy as seeing something. So supposing if I say, please, it's in fact you can't not see it. It is so evident. It's like when the prameya and the pramana come together, when that which is to be known and the means of knowledge come together, the knowledge will take place. So you see these glasses in front of you, correct? So supposing I say, see my face but don't see the glasses, you cannot oblige no matter how much Shraddha you may have. You cannot oblige. You will see the glasses. Why? Because the eyes are open and there is something to see. The eyes is the correct pramana of form and color. You will absolutely see it. And so therefore, this knowledge you cannot miss because it is you. It is not something you have to go far away. It is you. But the orientation is I am not this, I'm small, I'm an idiot, I need this, I need that, I have lack, somebody is taking away something from me, because of this person I'm sad, because of this person I'm mad. These are the orientations, these are the clingings. The clingings are dropped in the wake of this knowledge because this knowledge fulfills all the lacks. So just like the baby has candy, baby has a lollipop in the hand, and you cannot take it out of the hand, correct? Somebody who came up with the expression, it's as easy as taking candy out from a baby, they'd never had a baby. Okay, yeah, for sure. Anybody who's had a baby know how difficult it is to take candy out of baby hand. What do? You give it something big, you give it a teddy bear, you give it a doll, you give it something shiny. So what will it do? It will itself drop and catch a hold of that. That is what this knowledge does. This knowledge is so vast, so big that all the candies one is holding on to, education, college, marriage, job, children, house, everything. All those are what? Little lollipops. Yes. And all the lollipops are gone. All these lollipops are popped. They are nothing there. And then what is there is this knowledge, which is everything. In fact, when you choose this everything, when you choose everything, all that you want is already there. It's included. But if you choose one small thing, one is stuck with it. First it is attractive, and then after that it's what? We have outgrown this. We don't need each other anymore. Yes. Pujya Swamiji used to say, first it is, I love you, I love you, I love you. And then afterwards, I allow you to have some space. That's why there is disappointment. Because you hang on to the finite, the infinite will never show its face. You choose the infinite. Inside the infinite, the finite is included or not?
Yes.
Included, definitely. You choose the limitless has to come along. You choose the limited, the limitlessness says, okay, see you next life. Yeah. You have to study. This is not a one-time thing. A repeated and a continuous exposure is needed for this knowledge. Welcome. Anything else? Okay. Let's see. Can you please explain the reason for addition of sun and heaven? Yeah, sun and heaven means that which is beyond perception. That is there because the Sukshma Sharira and all is there. Sun because it helps us to see. So the sight is the sun. That's why it is included. Both the individual, Vyashti and Samashti components are included. Okay. Any other questions are there? Yes. Yogis say they hear Om during meditation. Is it manifest as a sound that is heard like a doorbell? No. Yes. No. It is not a sound that is heard. Even though we say it's a sound symbol, it is not heard. It is what is understood by the symbol. The truth of the waker, dreamer, sleeper that we went through, that is what it is. It is not heard. Whatever you hear in meditation is what? Digestive juices adjusting themselves. Guru, 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 because it's lunchtime. Guru, guru, guru. That's all it is. That is an object. It is agrahya. It is not heard by this. And then, is it correct to say that samsara is also really not there? Abba, I'm so glad you are here. Yes, samsara also is really not there. It belongs to the realm of the ahankara, correct? If ahankara itself is a dependent reality, samsara is also a notion. Yes, this is what I have been saying for so long. Samsara it's not the ocean of samsara. What is it? Notion of samsara. Correct. And who is it sensed by? The I notion. Correct. All right. Wonderful. I think that concludes the online questions also. Om Namah Shivaya.
One small one.
One more question. Okay.
Is
Tell.
there a connection between Om and Nadu Brahman?
They say that, see, you have to find some way to acknowledge this Jagat, because we are all Jagat oriented, correct? Because we see it. And so we say that it started with the primal sound, and Brahmaji created this universe and was happy and said, Om Atha. So Om becomes a Mangalam sound. Mangalam sound means an auspicious sound. Yeah. It's a story, like anything. It's a story. Because people have questions. Well, how did this Jagat come? Where did it begin? So, where do we want to take the people? We want to take the people to the beginning or to the end? To the end. If the end is Om, then we explain. Beginning is also Om. Yeah. Actually, Om is beginningless, endless. This is again baby formula. All right.